Hey, Doug Forsyth here. I want to share with you a couple of ways of playing against a D7th chord or dominant 7th chord. I'm using D7 for the example. Again, many ways you can play against chords. This is sort of two ways theoretically to play against a dominant 7th. So I'm taking D7. Okay, and the chord tones of D7th, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Those are the notes that make up the dominant 7th chord. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, and the 1 again. Okay, now one way is the D7th, what we call steps. What step is D7? If I'm going to say D7 belonging to the key of G, then D7 would be the fifth step of G. So it's the fifth step note of it starting for the G scale. Now, it would be nice to start and stop to learn this from the chord notes of D7. So the G is not in the D7th chord. It's an F sharp. So to stop on G would be kind of you're going to hear a lot of tension with it. So if I was playing one way, the D7th, against the D7th chord, playing a G scale, starting with this D note, because it's in the G scale, it's in the G chord. It's the fifth of the G, and it's the root of the D. But I'm going to stop on the seventh step of the G scale, the F sharp, because that F sharp is in the D7th chord. I want to establish more of the D7th chord than the G. So I have this sound, and you get that sound. If I went up to the G, it wants to make it like it was coming home to G. It's finished. So if you had a G chord there, that would have been nice. But the D7 chord, it really have a lot of tension. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but you have a lot of tension. But if you hear it here, you can hear that sound really lock in to the D7th chord. So one way, again, the D7 belonging to G is the fifth step. So G major sound against the D7 plus your D7 arpeggio. Scale. And I think what you want to do at the beginning is just to hear the sound. Okay, it's not about playing fancy and all that. It's about, does it feel like you're locking in to the sound? And I think that's where it starts giving us confidence, when we feel like it sounds cool. It sounds correct. We're locking in. And that's the fun part, because you don't have to memorize a lick. You create your own. And that's what it's all about, especially when you start to do something you thought of. Again, I don't think it matters that much how great it sounds, but it's the start of you becoming your own person. Yeah, you thought about it, you made it, and you keep working on it until it becomes your own and sounds good. But the wonderful part I think about it is that it's something you did. It's not something you copying. You create that on your own. So the next one would be the D7 as a fourth step. Now when it's a fourth step, it belongs to a minor key, minor sound, and that would be the fourth to A minor. So even though you're not playing A minor in this particular example, which after I'm done here, I'll be just playing over D7, a groove of D7, sort of Jocko kind of a bass thing, nice funk stuff, smooth, and so you're just honing in on D7, but you're doing the two different key centers to give you a little different kind of sound, tonality to it. So here again, this is D7 arpeggio. Now, in A minor, this is not a chord tone. So I would suggest you start on a chord tone from the D arpeggio kind of thing to fit the minor sound. Again, even though you're not going to A minor, but you're making it smoother. So if we start with E, which would be the second note of the D7th arpeggio, or this is the fifth note of A minor, so of the melodic minor. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's that F sharp again. So that would be a nice place to stop again, and yet you're playing A minor melodic, and the other one that you stopped at F sharp also was G major scale. So let's just do the two scales now, not the arpeggio. The G major scale, starting with the D, to fit that D7 sound. Okay, now I'm doing the A melodic minor, and I'm going to start on E so it fits that minor sound again, even though we're not playing it, but it's a D9th for the D chord. So both of them sounds good. Major. The A minor melodic. So I'm going to play the backing track and let's see what we get. That's my arpeggio. Major scale. Minor scale. It's the minor, the major.